Hey guys, Train Guy here. Thought today I'd give you a little tour of the layout. So without further ado, here we go. We'll probably have to break this up to a couple of segments because I like to keep them a little bit smaller than usual, 15, 20 minutes at that. And we got a lot to cover. So stay with me and I'll see you soon. Okay, so we're going to start this tour at the Bates Mansion. You got Norman there on his way down the steps. And up here, she's a little tough to see, but in that window, there's Mother Bates. Come down here, and here's the actual Bates Motel. So we come over here, and here's a dairy freeze. And we zoom in a little bit. You can see the staff in there waiting on the people. Zoom back out. And we'll come over here, and there's the marquee for it. And here is the drive-in. Now I took these are actual movies. I believe the last one, Monsters Go Home, was a made-for-TV movie. I'm not sure. I know they made it, but I don't know if it was ever released in the theaters. But I chose these particular movies because they're represented on the layout, and you'll see that eventually. So once again, this is the upper deck. This is the one where I did all the buildings and scenery and such, and it's going to transition, as you'll see going around. It goes from the Bates Motel over into a city and then around to a countryside again. So we've already seen the Psycho, so I guess you get a clue of what's coming up eventually. Move along here, and we have a Gulf station. And the reason why I did a Gulf station, you look inside here, there is someone being waited on. My wife's father, who passed away right before I met her, used to own a Gulf station. So I did this in honor of her dad. And he used to have a Coke machine out in front. And it's a little tough to see, but that is a lit Coke machine. Of course, there's the Gulf and the guys pushing their car in because they ran out of gas. And some of them arguing over a towing. All right, so we're gonna zoom back out a little bit. And now we come into this city scene. Okay, so this guy here didn't want to stand on his own no matter how much super glue I put. So I let him lean against the post, and I just said, well, that's the town drunk. So we move along the city here. And of course, there's a local hardware store. And there is a food supermarket, drugstore, and then we have this apartment high-rise going on, and then there's a little diner in the back there, a little hard to see, but there's a diner back here. And this bus I lit myself. It has headlights, and of course you can see the red glow for the tail lights. And these lights in the bus were all done with Woodland Scenics miniature LEDs. It's their just plug system. So there's 4 separate LEDs on there, and underneath I have all the controls that everything plugs into. The traffic signal here, the operating traffic signal, is actually by a company called We Honest. They're out of China. Well, they're imports from China. They're relatively cheap, and as you can see, they work pretty good. So we move on. There's a little restaurant here. The funeral home with the mourners gathered outside, which is kind of typical. Your fire station. And we'll see if we can read the marquee a little bit here. There we go. So there's your fire department. Come back out here. There's movie theater. And then we come over here. And this is another ice cream stand. This one I built specifically for my wife, who used to own a business called J&J Dairy Freeze. It was ice cream, much different than this. I decided to give her a permanent location, a permanent storefront, and she also told me that she had a Pepsi machine outside, which you could see that's lit. And so inside, there she is, and there I am helping her. Okay, so we'll move along, and that's the first side of the upper deck. So we'll move over here since we have some time, and we'll go do, of course, there's the Addams Family. Not sure what kit that one was, but that was one I found online somewhere. Roll back here. And then we got a house under construction. You can see all the going-ons there. And then we have a double wide being set. And there's the whole crane operation going on, and the guys on the ground guiding it, holding it in place, and some spectators there. And then you go in the back, and here's 1313 Mockingbird Lane. The color on the house I had to kind of guess on because, let's face it, it's in black and white. And the closest thing I could find was somebody that made a reproduction of the house in Texas, and that's the colors more or less that they picked, so that's what I went with. Again, some more spectators and kids playing in the street. Some generic houses. Oh, that car there is one that I used to have growing up back in the early 80s. Got a gazebo back there. And just another house. Of course, here's Verizon coming to do some work. Here's another house. And what are they all looking at? Well, they're over here because we have a fire, an active fire scene going on. And you can see the flicker up in the top floor there. But Betty's is on fire, and unfortunately, here she comes out with a firefighter. And we'll come over this way, and then you see the guys over here. Kid watching the firemen. Family came in to go to the general store as their guys are playing checkers, and somebody else is servicing the machine. And here comes the ambulance for that victim. Of course, there's the Gulf sign. Then we have the trailer. Kids playing, the car up on stands, and a kid in the tire swing. Then we come over here, and this poor guy's got pulled over by an unmarked vehicle. And the supervisor's out there talking to him now. Then we have the horse farm. We come over this way. We have the farm scene, the guys pulling out. And then we come to the cemetery. And of course, we have someone being laid to rest. There's the cars and of course the hearse. And the little church there. But I want to take note of the sign, which I thought was kind of interesting, and I was like, that's got to go on there. So that's our upper deck, and you tune in and we will do the lower deck in our next video. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great day.